Audrey.
Morning.
Do you know where we're going today?
We're going to attempt to drive to Mount Rushmore, but if we're too tired, we aren't. But along the way, we're going to stop on where you did archaeology, a Mammoth site, and Dakota Springs?
Hot Springs. So.
Hot Springs.
All right, everybody, we have gotten our McDonald's.
Yes, we have.
We are ready to go for our adventure.
Yep.
To Hudson-Meng. I've got some breakfast burrito, some hash browns, some coffee. The girls have lemonade. It is gonna be an amazing adventure. And as we headed out, the suburbs slowly faded away into wide open prairie highway. So we just passed through Fort Morgan and the Platte River. What'd you guys think of the Platte River?
It looked very, very...
One of my favorite kinds of weather to travel in is slightly overcast. And as we made our way outside of Fort Morgan, the clouds began to hang over the prairies. And as you can see, the gray clouds prevented the bright sun and made for great driving conditions. Well, quick update. We are in Kimball, Nebraska, just right off of I-80. We kind of went up 76 and went through some backcountry roads through the Pawnee National Grasslands.
Yep.
And now they're going to get closer to Scottsbluff and then Hudson-Meng. In the summer of 1995, I had the opportunity to spend 40 days and 40 nights out in the plains and hills of Nebraska doing archaeology through CSU, Colorado State University's Archaeological Field School. We did a dig, a Paleo-Indian dig at Hudson-Meng, at that time Bison kill site, now an archaeological site. They have a visitor center there. When I was there, it was a little more primitive. It was just a field in the middle of nowhere down 2 dirt roads outside of Crawford, Nebraska.
We are at Hudson-Meng bed. Bone bed.
There you go.
I forgot what it is.
Why is that important to Papa?
Because you did archaeology here.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the bone bed, and today me, Papa, and Victoria went here. Mama isn't here right now because she is back at home. This is like a hip bone, and it's really exciting to find these, or so Papa says. These are some of the tools that archaeologists used when they were digging. And here's what they would make the hide out of.
So as you can see, Audrey's doing a great job touring the site. There's the exposed bone bed. The actual bones are a much larger surface area surrounding both the outside and the inside of the visitor center. Most of this area was actually exposed by Dr. Agenbrod in the 70s. I did archaeology there much later, about 20-30 years later in the 90s, 1995. And then now we're back in 2023 visiting this site. As you can see, there's a beautiful visitor center allowing the bone bed to be excavated so that we can collect scientific evidence, but also so that visitors can come and appreciate the site and the mystery and the archaeology. In the last 60 years or so, there's 3 different interpretations of the site, starting with a cliff jump to a natural disaster to perhaps an area where there was corrals used and it was a multiple kill site. About 600 animals are represented in the bones that have been observed in the bone bed so far. It does date back to Paleo-Indian period, which is about 10,000 years ago, and they believe it's part of the Cody complex, amongst others.
Bison meat is really lean, so they needed that fat content. So in the fall, the cows would have been leaving with their mothers, getting their own fat. The cow nature would get
Humoring an old man.
It really was a privilege to get to do archaeology here and then get to share it with my kids 28 years later. One of the things you can do at the archaeological site is to learn how to throw an atlatl. As you can see, Audrey is a natural. Her hunter instinct is strong and she gets that bison first try.
Wow.
Natural.
You're perfect, Victoria. Much easier than I thought.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, here I am, Hudson-Meng bison bone bed. 28 years later, archaeology still going strong here at the site. 3 different interpretations of why this site's here, but what a great place to visit, really cool. Girls, what you think?
Great, especially the throwing the
Atlatl? That's pretty cool, they had fun. Highly recommended.
The area surrounding Hudson-Meng is rich and full of both paleontology, archaeology, and of course lots of geology. So a couple dirt roads later, we were on our way to Hot Springs, South Dakota, and the Mammoth site.
Audrey, ready to do a room tour?
Yes.
Okay, so in here, typical hotel bathroom. Victoria's going to the bathroom right now.
We have a mirror here and stuff to hang up with a ironing board and ironing thing.
An iron, okay.
An iron.
A nice table if you want us to eat. Okay.
A couch.
Yeah, a little extra hangout space.
2 queen beds.
All right.
A microwave.
Yep.
A fridge.
Nice. A very small TV.
Small TV. 3 drawers.
Can we get some lights on?
A chair, and
What's the view like? View's not bad. There's the Blackhills right out there. Pretty cool. Alright, there it is. Fully illuminated, classic hotel room. Nice.
Yep.
Mammoth site is an amazing paleontological wonder found in Hot Springs, South Dakota. It's a beautiful visitor center. where you go and play around with some bones. There's casts of mammoth bones right there, and there's another nice mammoth femur. As you can see, the bone bed is exposed. There's several woolly mammoths and Columbian mammoths you can see throughout the bone bed. The site itself was actually a spring and sinkhole. Where we're standing right there at that level, we would have been about 25 feet below water on the edge of a warm water spring-fed pool. What happened were these bison would wander in, nibble on the grass that grew around year-round around the edge of the pool, slip in, and then finally couldn't get their hefty selves out. You can actually see some footprints where those green arrows are. Of course, in the site, it's very pedagogical. There's lots of different places where kids can explore. Girls are comparing themselves against various bears of the time periods.
Oh, they were.
Here, Audrey.
Hi.
What do you got there?
This is the bottom of a mammoth jaw.
Oh, mammoth jaw. It's called the mandible.
Girls really love these paintings on the wall. There you can see they're about a pygmy elephant or pygmy mammoth. Here's a well-preserved mammoth there. They believe this mammoth lost its life on the edge of the pool and kind of sunk there at the edge, and then later slowly decomposed. And you can see a pretty well-articulated skeleton remains of that particular mammoth on the edge of the sinkhole. One of the highlights of the bone bed is this almost complete skeleton of a mammoth. One of the cool parts is it's almost completely articulated in the bone bed, ironically named Napoleon Bonaparte. It's also a location of two mammoth skulls that have both tusks still implanted in them. So here we are at the mammoth site in Hot Springs, South Dakota. You can see below me there one of the best preserved mammoth skeletons, ironically named Napoleon Bonaparte. Partially excavated but looks pretty well intact. It's a Columbian mammoth, which was a larger species than the woolly mammoth they also find in here, but it's pretty cool in a museum.
Alright, so these are all the bison, right? And you got bison latifrons, it's the biggest, and then you got bison antiquus. Come over this way. So latifrons was the big one. I'm not sure if they had it in North America or not. But then you've got Bison antiquus, that's the next one. So those are the bison that were excavated in the Hudson-Meng. Look how big they are. Pretty huge, right? And then the next one is a transitional bison, right? Bison priscus. And then the last one is the modern bison. It's bison.
The site does a great job of highlighting the paleontology, but also the archaeology of the era, showing you some local collections of Paleolithic arrowheads and spear points found throughout the area. We were pretty wiped after the visit, but we decided to visit the local hot springs fed swimming pool. As you can see, it's a little bit of a dated facility, but still kind of fun. There were slides and water to splash in. It was nice and warm to chill out. Here's Audrey trying the water slide. Girls had never been to an old hot springs public swimming pool like this, so it was a little bit of a culture shock for them, but they had fun. They made the most of it. There's Audrey slowly but surely working her way down the slide. Next morning we got up and had a hearty hotel breakfast before we headed out.
Morning, ladies. Morning. So it is our day of our second day of our adventure. We are heading to Mount Rushmore from Hot Springs, South Dakota. It's about an hour and 11-minute drive or so. We're gonna head up there and we're gonna see Mount Rushmore, and then we're gonna beeline it back to Colorado. So today is gonna be Mount Rushmore. You excited, ladies?
Yes.
All right.
And I'm
See you.
excited about the drive afterwards.
We'll see you in a little bit.
Last time I'd been to Mount Rushmore was July 4th, 1995, and as you can tell, this is the end of July 2023. They've added a lot. There's a parking garage. There's a lot more stuff at the site, as well as a beautiful auditorium. Completely transformed the experience of Mount Rushmore. Still a monument with both pluses and minuses in the final analysis of it. But, you know, it's an interesting wonder. It's definitely an act of patriotism and pretty amazing.
Okay, so recap of Mount Rushmore, which is right out there. You can see it drive by. There's Mount Rushmore. All right, recap of Mount Rushmore. Ladies, what did you think? One positive statement about Mount Rushmore.
It is a great monument, and it's probably a lot of hard work to get it up here.
Victoria, one positive comment about Mount Rushmore.
Not going to
Alright, so now the real critique. It's a sculpture in a beautiful natural area, completely unnecessary. This area would be more beautiful without four faces on it.
And it's on a sacred mountain.
And it's on a sacred mountain. Victoria? On monument scale, impressive scale, how would you rate it out of 10?
3.
3 out of 10. Alright. Well, in comparison, Eiffel Tower, 10 out of 10?
Yes.
Statue of Liberty, 8 out of 10? Yeah. Alright, there we go.
Swedish Midsummer.
Swedish Midsummer is not a monument.
I know, but it's great. I know.
It was, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it was really cool. I think DC does a better job with monuments and memorials than Baltimore. But, you know, we had to visit it. We did our patriotic duty. We'll be back in another 30 years.
Well, we spent about an hour at Mount Rushmore, and as you can tell, the scenery, both heading towards Mount Rushmore and heading out of the park, is just absolutely gorgeous Blackhills scenery. Lots of wooded trees and rolling hills. Beautiful, beautiful landscape to drive through. Made our way through the Blackhills and through the changing terrain of the remnants of South Dakota and the better part of Wyoming. As we head down from the Black Hills, you can see the trees slowly fade away and more prairie and badlands geography take over, and some beautiful open farmland before we head into the dry landscape of Wyoming. Once again, traveling the back roads of Wyoming is a beautiful experience in itself. Wide open prairie, wide open sky. We made our way home through these back roads with beautiful scenery and enjoyed the drive. Wyoming's a pretty beautiful state, all said and done. It's got its rivers, it's got its wide open spaces, and it's got its cute little western towns that show you their wonderful little quaint storefront, western expansion, wonderfulness. We're getting closer to I-25, and our quick ride home is getting done. Tell that our trip was over when we caught our first spot of the Rocky Mountains as we got close to Interstate 25, which is the main artery of highway that takes you from north and south in Wyoming. And of course the road signs linked to Cheyenne, which is pretty close, which meant we were almost home. You can see the fields just outside of Fort Collins in the afternoon thunder showers, and before we knew it, we were home once again after this wonderful adventure.